The 5th of August, 1901, Volume 4, Mortification is the Sight of the Soul. As I was in my usual state, my blessed Jesus was delaying in coming. I felt I was dying for the pain of his privation, when all of a sudden he came and told me, "My daughter, just as the eyes are the sight of the body, so mortification is the sight of the soul. Therefore, mortification can be called eyes of the soul." And he disappeared. End of the reading.
The 5th of August, 1904, Volume 6, Jesus, Ruler of Kings and Lord of Lords. Continuing in my usual state, blessed Jesus came for just a little in the act of ruling and dominating everything, and of reigning with the crown of king on his head and with the sceptre of command in his hand. While I was seeing him in this position, he told me, though in Latin, but I will say it according to what I understood, "My daughter, I am the ruler of kings and the Lord of lords. To me alone is this right of justice due, which the creature owes me, and by not giving it to me, she denies me as creator and master of everything." While saying this, he seemed to take the world in his hand and turn it upside down so that creatures would submit to his regime and dominion. At the same time, I could also see how the Lord ruled and dominated my soul with such mastery that I felt all submerged in him. From him came the regime of my mind, of my affections, of my desires. Many electric wires passed between me and him, through which he directed and dominated everything. End of the reading.
The 5th of August, 1923, Volume 16. In order to make redemption, it was necessary for the most holy humanity of Jesus and for his human will to enter into the divine will. In the same way, in order to fulfill the fiat voluntas tua, it is necessary that another creature, Louisa, enter into it. I was fusing all of myself in the holy will of God, and my sweet Jesus, investing me with the supreme light, told me, "My daughter, if my supreme will had not let my human will enter into the divine will, my humanity, as holy and pure as it is, could not have formed the complete redemption. My human will would have lacked all seeingness, and so it could not have seen everyone. It would have lacked immensity, and so it could not have embraced all. Omnipotence, and it could not have saved everyone. Eternity, and it could not have taken everything as one point, making up for everything. Therefore, the first role in redemption was of the divine will, the second of my humanity. If it wasn't for the divine will, redemption would have been for few and limited in time, because not having the light of all seeingness, which makes everyone known, I could not have extended myself to all. So, in order to form redemption, I did nothing other than open the doors of the divine will to my humanity, doors which the first man had closed. And giving it free field, I let it work redemption in its very womb. Since then, no one else has entered my divine will to work in it as master in full freedom, as though being the owner of it, in order to enjoy all the power and the goods it contains. My will in me is like the soul to the body, and if doing my will has been the greatest grace for the saints, which entered into them as though by reflection, what will it be not only to receive its reflections, but to enter into it and enjoy all its fullness? Now, just as in order to form redemption, it was necessary for my humanity and for my human will to enter into this divine will, for the fulfillment of the Fiat Voluntas Tua on earth as it is in heaven, it is now necessary that I open again the doors of my eternal will, that I let one creature enter, and that giving her free field, I let her do from her greatest to her tiniest act in the all-seeingness, immensity, and power of my will. As you enter into it, to emit your thoughts, words, works, steps, reparations, pains, love, and thanksgiving, my will coin all your acts, and they will receive the divine image with the value of divine acts, which, being infinite, will be able to make up for all, reach all, and have so much ascendancy over the divinity as to make this supreme will descend upon earth, bringing the goods it contains. It will happen as to metal, to gold, to silver. Until the image of the king is minted on it, it cannot be given the value of money. But as soon as it is minted, it acquires value as currency, and it circulates throughout the whole kingdom. There is no town, village, or important place in which it does not enjoy its prestige as money, and there is no creature who can live without it. Its metal may be vile or precious, it does not matter. As long as the image of the king is impressed on it, it runs through the whole kingdom, enjoys supremacy over all, and makes itself loved and respected by all. In the same way, everything which the soul does in my will, since the divine image is minted on it, runs through heaven and earth, has supremacy over all, does not refuse to give itself to whomever wants it, and there is no place in which its beneficial effects are not enjoyed. And while he was saying this, we prayed together, and Jesus let my intelligence enter his will. Together, we offered to the Supreme Majesty the homage, the glory, the submission, the adoration of all created intelligences. At the contact with the Supreme Will, a divine image was impressed in the homages and adorations, and they diffused over all created intelligences like many speaking messengers, which placed themselves in order in the creation, all of them in relation with the Supreme Will. But who can say what one could see and understand? My most sweet Jesus added, "My daughter, have you seen? Only by entering my will, all this can happen. Therefore, continue to let your gazes, your words, your heart, and all the rest of you enter into it, and you will see surprising things." Then, after spending more than 3 hours in the divine will, doing together with Jesus all that he told me to do, I found myself inside myself. But who can say all? I feel that my poor intelligence is unable to. If Jesus wants, I will continue. For now, I will stop here. End of the reading.
The 5th of August, 1934, Volume 33. Story of the love of God, the creation enclosed in man. Sorrowful notes in the divine love. I was doing my round in the acts of the divine will, and passing from one word to another, I arrived at the creation of man. And my sweet Jesus, stopping me with an indescribable love that he could not contain, told me, "My daughter, my love makes me feel the need of speaking about the creation of man. Already the whole of creation is pregnant with our love and speaks, although in mute language. And if it does not speak, it talks with deeds, and it is the greatest narrator of our love toward man. And when our love was extended in everything, in a way that one could not find any place that our love did not cover him and run toward him, and more than sun, it would dart him, when the whole creation was completed, we created man. But before creating him, listen to the story of our love toward him. Our adorable Majesty had established to constitute man king of the whole of creation by giving him the dominion over everything and by making him Lord over all our works. But in order to say true king with deeds and not with words, he had to possess in himself everything that we had scattered in creation, such that in order to be king of the sky, of the sun, of the wind, of the sea, and of everything, he had to possess within himself a sky, a sun, and so forth, and in a way that creation would be reflected in him. And he, possessing the same qualities, would be reflected in the creation and would be Lord of it. Indeed, if he did not have an eye full of light, how could he enjoy the light of the sun and take however much of it he wanted? If he did not have feet and hands in order to tread the earth and take what the earth produces, how could he call himself king of the earth? If he did not have the respiratory organ in order to breathe the air, how could he make use of it? And the same for all the rest. Therefore, before creating man, we looked at the whole of creation, and in our emphasis of love we exclaimed, "How very beautiful are our works, but we will make man the most beautiful among all. We will concentrate everything in him in a way that we will find creation outside and inside of him. And as we went moulding him, so we enclosed in him the sky of the reason, the sun of the intelligence, the swiftness of the wind in the thought, the extension of space, the strength, the empire in the will, the motion in the soul, in which we enclosed the sea of grace, the celestial air of our love, and all the senses of the body as the most beautiful flowering. O man, how very beautiful you are. But not content with this, we placed in him the great sun of our will, and giving him the great gift of the word, so that he could with deeds and with words be the eloquent narrator of his creator, he was our image, in which we delighted ourselves in enriching him with our most beautiful qualities. But not content with this, we were taken by love so exuberant toward him that our immensity entangled him everywhere, wherever and in every instant. Our all-seeingness looked at him in everything, and even in the fibres of his heart our power sustained him, carrying him everywhere in our paternal arms. Our life, our motion, palpitated in his heart, breathed in his breath, operated in his hands, walked in his feet, and arrived at making themselves footstool even under his feet. Our paternal goodness, in order to keep this dear son of ours secure, placed him in the conditions that he could not separate himself from us, nor we from him. What more could we do and did not do? This is why we love him so much, because he cost us so much. We dispersed for him our love, our power, our will, and we placed in attitude our infinite wisdom. And we did not want anything other than that he would love us, and that in everything he would freely live in our will, and he would recognise how much we have loved him and done for him. These are our loving affectations. Who would cruelly want to deny them to us? But alas, there are unfortunately some who deny them to us and form the sorrowful notes in our love. Therefore, be attentive and let your flight in our will be continuous. After this, I continued my round in creation, and not knowing how to do anything else, I offered to God the extension of the sky in order to adore him, the twinkling of the stars for profound genuflections, the light of the sun in order to love him. But while I did this, I thought to myself, but the sky, the stars, the sun, They are not animate things. They do not have reason. How can they do what I want? And my beloved Jesus, always benign, added, my daughter, in order to create creation, first there was needed our wanted and decided will of creating it. And when this will of ours wanted, then it converted into works what it wanted. In fact, our wanted and operating will is in every created thing, in which it always remains in act of wanting and operating. Therefore, offering to our Supreme Majesty the sky, the sun, and anything else, offers not the material and superficial thing that one sees, but the same wanted and operating will of God that is there within each created thing. And if they do not have reason, there is within a divine reason and a wanted and operating will of God that animates everything. And offering them offers us the greatest act, the most holy will, the most beautiful works, and not interrupted but continuous, in which there are the most profound adorations, the most perfect love, the greatest glory that the creature can give us by means of our wanted and operating will in the whole of creation. And if the sky, the stars, the sun, the wind are not aware of anything, my will and yours are aware of what we want and to make use of them. And that is enough. End of the reading. There are no more readings today.